the deepest sort of things that cause us the deepest pain and suffering, they're quite often immune to a lot of the spiritual tricks of the trade. Right? You can go to presence or be in the now or rest in awareness or different things. And for sort of the more minor chunks of karma, they can just kind of start to fall away just in that. The deeper seated things, boundaries we create, very often that's not enough. There's something a bit more dynamic that's needed, and that's when at times you have to kind of be willing to pull up your sleeves a little bit and go, okay, this is going to be some sort of dirty work here, but someone's got to do it. Apparently I'm the only one. And you kind of willingly start to look at the things that recycle in you. People have the things that recycle, the things that catch you up. Even if you have had a much deeper realization, there's things for a lot of people, they just kind of recycle and you go, God, that's not really true to what I really know, to what I really feel inside. And those are the areas where they still remain deeply unconscious. The behaviors, the acting out is conscious, but where it's coming from is often unconscious.
What do you do?
Well, I'll give you what I have to offer, okay? So, because there's many answers to that question depending on what level you're approaching it from. I only approach it from a certain, from a couple of levels. That doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, okay? Because there's lots of different levels to approach this at. In other words, psychology would approach it at a psychological level. Behaviorism would approach it at a certain level. And they're all valid within their own domain, okay? I approach it on a little bit more fundamental level, which is the things that make us suffer, that make us have pain, cause pain, suffering. Those are some very deep-seated, often very unconscious conclusions that we've made, that we have long ago often forgot about. But they're conclusions that are in there. They're sort of belief structures from which action happens, from which the way we act out happens, or even just internally. Our internal experience is dominated by them. And you can just witness the feeling, and the feeling will pass. Oh, it's all fine. But it'll catch you, won't it? It'll keep coming back. Then you have to go, okay. The simplest thing I can say is you start to identify what you feel. The feeling itself. What's this feeling? Where is it? Right? So you get very specific. You start to, because illusion it likes to be very fluid and it keeps to move so you don't ever pin it down. But if you start to ask yourself, what is this feeling and exactly where is it? Is it in my toe? Is it in my knee? Is it in my gut? Is it here? Is it here? Is my throat clenching? Do you know what I mean? So you really get very intimate, exactly where that feeling is, what's the emotion. And when you start to feel that, then you have to almost consciously sacrifice, and I know this sounds very strange for a spiritual teacher to say this, you have to consciously sacrifice temporarily your deeper wisdom. You have to let go of it, and you have to enter into that feeling, and you just say, okay, now how does this feeling, this anger, this resentment, this jealousy, this bitterness, whatever it is, how does it view the world? If I ask the feeling, not the person, but the feeling, what do you think about the world? What kind of world is it? Who's responsible for the way you feel? Are people basically good or bad? How about you? Are you good? Are you bad? Are you something different? So in other words, you're using your feeling to help you connect with the conclusion you made, which is often unconscious. And when you do, if you really let go of your wisdom, and you really go down in there, or you bring your wisdom down in there, however you may, you'll start to feel that your own pain will actually, all of a sudden, you'll get in touch with the voice of it. You'll get in it, and sometimes it can be very nasty and very, very mean, and then you keep listening to that. And if you kind of work your way in, you'll eventually come to just a basic view of things. And the strong, painful emotions and the strong, painful stories are usually covering up something quite innocent and very, very vulnerable. It's just some conclusion that was made. This is the way people never listen to me. It could be something that simple. Well, it could be a very little thing. And you just look and you go, oh, that's what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing my own conclusion about the world or others or myself. It's not out here. It's not even me per se. It's this conclusion that got formed. And I'm experiencing that conclusion over and over and over. And you will experience it over and over and over until you go in, find the conclusion, find the story that was created, and start to unhook it. Unhook it means you just sit there and you kind of look at it and go, first you really acknowledge that you're experiencing that conclusion. That's what's happening.
It's the containment that I have trouble with.
Containment.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens?
I usually lash out instead of staying with it like you're describing.
Right.
So
right.
I need to work
so
on
we
that.
lash out because the lashing out's trying to tell us to pay attention. Because one of the things you have to do what I'm talking about, you have to be able, at least for a moment, to let go of condemning yourself. You have to let go of guilting and shaming yourself, because then you're stuck in another conclusion. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be experiencing what I'm experiencing. Mm-hmm. But you're stuck with it because, of course, you are experiencing what you're experiencing, right? And it's there and it wants to lash out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you follow that back inside. And you'll find that lashing out, it's very nasty, it's very mean, it's like a cage, it's like an animal that's been cornered, right? Mm-hmm. It'll lash out. It wants to do damage in a way. And yet when you really start to feel into that, what's an animal that's been cornered? Yeah, they get angry and aggressive and they lash out, but what's really going on?
It's fear.
They're scared. The daylight is scared out of them, right?
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, this is life and death.
Yeah.
And what we often don't know is when we lash out, something in us is literally feeling that this is life and death.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to control, because to that part, this is life and death, survival or not. And when you start to get in touch with that, you feel it, and then you start to listen to what it's saying. Mm-hmm. Only then can you start to re-examine, is that actually true? Is what I'm thinking true? Is my conclusion real? And really the most important thing is you just ask yourself the question and then just stop for a moment. Don't try to even answer it. Just ask yourself the question and let the rest percolate. You get the feel?
Mm-hmm. I do have to admit, too, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but getting angry sometimes feels pretty good.
Yeah.
And I have to stop that. That's what I have to stop, is wanting to be more powerful than my fear, even though that's not truth.
Yeah. Well, you just ask, of course it feels good because you get the energy out, and there can even be, in us, there can be this sort of hidden vindictiveness, like, ooh, I actually like to cause that suffering. That was kind of nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are the kind of things that we really don't like to acknowledge, those kind of feelings, right? Not very many people, lots of people will have those, but they not only will they not tell somebody else, they won't even tell themselves. But you ever notice what you won't tell yourself? It controls you. It's got you. You don't have it. It has you by the tail. You see? So starting to be like, it's okay to hear your vicious voices, your dark voices, your demons. Remember Jesus in the desert and the demons and the devil, and Buddha under the Bodhi tree? Here's the modern day equivalent right here, right now. You're there. Your demons come out, right? Mm-hmm. Your tempters, your seductions. You're the part of you that actually likes inflicting damage. And I'm talking to all of us, not just you, by the way. All of those come out, and we can wince and pull away from any of those, can't we? try to pretend, no, that's not in me. I'm really a very nice person, you see. And of course we are, but we're very complex. Mm-hmm. So those stories are actually our story. Mm-hmm. They're a way that's sent back that says, remember, this is part of what it is coming into what you really are. Mm-hmm. Or as my teacher used to say so much more simply, we come to nirvana by way of samsara. Yeah. Your samsara is what leads you to nirvana. Our illusions are what lead us to truth by seeing them, opening them, unlocking them, and releasing them. We all want to do an end run around them, right? We all want to do an end run around our humanness and all our little shadows and our little devils inside, but it just doesn't work. You may do that for a moment and discover something wonderful beyond imagination, but your little devils will still be there waiting for you.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It's a big one for me.
Right. And I'm really glad you opened this up because it's a big one for a lot of people in this room. It's a big one for a lot of people in every room I go to. You just had the courage to talk about it.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you. Yeah. In fact, if we're doing this kind of thing with sincerity, the time does come usually when our shadow side opens up. It just opens up. If you're doing it right, your desperate hope that you can suppress it all will eventually break down. And one day, your little raging demon will say, hello, I'm going to take over the entirety of your experience for a while, so you can no longer run away from me. And that's when people often get really sort of freaked out, or they think their spirituality has gone wrong because they're not thinking spiritual thoughts, they're not thinking loving kindness, you see. They've lathered on layers of loving kindness on top of the dark demons inside of them. And I'll be damned, all that loving kindness gets blown to hell. And they're like, I don't want to see I have that in me. I don't want to know I have a tyrant. I don't want to know that I have a part of me that actually likes inflicting pain. No, not me. You see? And of course, there's often a piece of that in everybody. And only when it gets acknowledged, and only when you start to see the pain that it covers up, the innocence that it covers up, some innocent misunderstanding is at the root of all pain, even the most horrendous pain within ourselves that we caused each other. If you get to its genesis point where it began, it's an innocent thing. It's a totally innocent misunderstanding about the way things are. That's why someone like Jesus, tortured to death, can say, forgive them. They know not what they do. The people who put me here, the people that are enjoying me hanging on this cross, forgive them. They wouldn't be doing this if they knew what they were doing, if they had touched into their own self in a very deep way. That's because he knows that even the most vicious act has a very innocent start. But if denied and pushed away long enough, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Anyway, how's that for getting it going? Come on up. Yes. It's all just getting back to our own potential, because our potential whole is infinite, isn't it? We are the infinite, and the infinite means infinite, all good, all bad. It can become anything and everything. And if you really want to rest in your potential, what you really are, as what you really are, then one no longer has the luxury to keep running from anything. It just doesn't work.